I know Gadget and Zipper missed you also.
Yeah? How are they doing?
Oh, they're great. 42 kids and counting.
What the hell were they thinking? Thank you, Story Downs. My childhood is raped.
This is fucked up, I don't understand.
Get fucks Zipper, and they already have 42 kids. It's like the donkey married the dragon, but it's not funny. The donkey in that context of the onion I grew up was just Niagara, shit, and the dragon, a spectacular woman with great roundings. And here the complete dump of the tower is direct, my ammunition detonated personally.
Anons on the forge is now loading over us, calling the bombers parians and cultists of Gadget. They are bred like a Los Reg. Well, that's it. If borrowed from a completely illogical pairing for which there was no promise in the original series makes me a cultist, ugh, I will be a cultist. Seriously, if Gadget in the film was made a strong and independent feminist without a fucker, then in this option would have looked better.
Zulmar, the cult exists. Last year, the brothers gathered for the 13th convention. The cultists don't care. They're too old to care about that.
They are too cold. If only they would lick off my sperm.
Guys, this is cringe. This is, in short, you know, the feeling when you meet your schooler on the street with a scuffed man and a stroller with a child.
Grandpa fucked up. It was necessary to drive football with the boys in childhood and not watch any shit.
That is if the chipmunk chip made children with the most Gadget. Then there would also be a summons.
No, it would be a Kuwait furry yuff and not vomit degradation with fly swatting.
Kawi furry is the same, vomit degradation.
So a pair of a mammal and an insect is really strange. Even a child will understand that something is wrong here. A dragon with a donkey is still normal. At least they are both Jordans. But a mouse with a fly is fucked. And if at least some part of the audience knows school biology and imagines how fleas breathe, then their psyche is fucked up and not every two-man can stand it.
It's like hentai where, after being raped by monsters, a chick gives birth to eggs, but here they become larvae. And then they pupate and morph into fly mice.
A special kind of trolling for wonkers. 2. A creepy attempt at deconstruction, but ends up as a bad evil party of the two universe. Ultimate universe in Chip and Dale. 3. The agenda helps to make money well. The feelings of the fan communities do not fuck anyone. This is a money-making mission.
Trolling, by the way. I'm starting to notice more and more fan trolling in a variety of media. And often the original authors of films, books, game series do it. Why do creative people hate their fans?
Because the fans fuck them with all sorts of many theories and other fightry, and because they hate their works.
Because motherfuckers are obsessed with cartoons and need to get them out into the real world.
By inducing depression and drinking. Great plan!
At least one other did it. Without exaggeration, ask. And at least one other made his nerd fans normal people respected in society.
Eating Anons!
What the fuck is the agenda? Disney has been inserting creepy moments into his cartoons all his life. They're following in his footsteps. Only this time they went too far. The fly that laid eggs in a mouse in a children's cartoon is just in the Disney style.
Chip and Dale has always been shit. My children is not right because I grew up on Shrek. Even the magnetic asset was with him. Sage Chip and Dale's based Shrek. You mistake is that you are imagining yourself in the place of one of these cuckold borns. Since childhood, I imagined myself as a based Shrek, who wrested the princess from the prince, lived in a swamp for a high life, and whose sidekick fucked a dragon. And the fact that he was a donkey did not stop him. It's like cuckold porn. Someone watches it and imagines themselves in the place of the dude who is hiding in the closet you. And there are those who watch it imagining themselves in the place of that brow that fucks. It seems like one porn, but there are nuances. In short, to make it clear to you, you are a creepy Harry Potter fan and I'm a token-based fan. Evil cannot create anything new. It can only spoil and destroy what good forces have invented or created. You keep talking, and the creation of evil is not canon. So if I was a Chip and Dale fan, I would just dismiss this movie as non-canon and bullshit. Just like the base Tolkienists canceled the pseudo-series for themselves around the ring, considering it to be garbage and not canon within the framework of their morality.
Good, did the same with Terminators 3 and beyond.
These 42 are the ones who survived. And imagine how many hundreds of unreadable genetic freaks died immediately after the birth of hatching.
I was even more upset that, as I understand it, according to the plot, their adventure turns out to be a production. That is, everything again slides into fucking capitalism. The heroes are not a team of friends helping the needy, but simply actors who don't give a fuck about each other without salary. It sucks somehow.
Your childhood was raped as a child by a drunken father by American cargo cult cartoons with local content and wordplays that cannot be redeemed due to translation. And you like it because you were a child and did not have critical thinking. That is, you took the colorful passages of Western culture for granted. Red.
I also watched Chip and Dale in the 90s, but never had the desire to masturbate on a nut. Crazy foodums must suffer.
I just have one question. Why do you keep watching this? It's obvious that all these remakes and reboots are going to be bullshit with an agenda. Do you really feel sorry for the bright memories of childhood? Or do you really hope to see something else?
They're killing our heroes in order to introduce new characters with a head start on the sequels. They try to make them more interesting than the old characters, and in order to achieve this, they humiliate the old characters. Reminds me of Luke from Star Wars. He was a person who always thinks positively and will do anything for his friends. In the new part, he is some kind of bum who hates everyone. And Solo, from a simple smuggler, became one of the leaders of the Resistance, risking his life for the sake of friends and a good cause. Suddenly he became a criminal who cannot even fix his ship. Rocky was a role model. Never give up, no matter how hard fate pushes. And now he's some old man who doesn't want to live. Sir Connor, a strong woman who has upgraded herself from a simple waitress to a fighting mother. All of a sudden it doesn't matter, her son's case doesn't matter, and now she's an alcoholic who's jealous of other moms. And there are many such examples. It's lazy writing, not wanting to go the hard way to introduce new characters, make them interesting and memorable, just as good as the old ones. The authors cash in on nostalgia and don't want to risk coming up with new stories that may not take off, but the old characters are too good and talentedly spelled out. So there is nothing left for them to do except to vulgarize and spoil them.
They're just actors, hell.
Bees. In the film, it was said in plain text that Gadget's personality in the real world is 100 the same as her image from the animated series. So this excuse does not work.
Are you stupid? I'm talking about Zipper. Standard joke, the personality of the actor is different from the personality of the character. It was the same with Rugger.
And I'm talking about Gadget Dips. Her personalities match perfectly, like all other characters, except for the flay drag.
I don't give a shit about that mammoth shit from the 80s. Don't give a shit that a mouse fucks a native flea. Don't give a shit about the nostalgia and how the original cartoon was. What worries me is that they essentially filmed another shit for millennials in which the only jokes are remember and taught fart comedy instead of thoughtful, creative stuff. Nice echo and some ancient gents and warm caterpillars crawling across a dying world. Don't Bluff once came up with a huge urban landscape filled with intelligent and noble rats. And so we looked at these artistic achievements and creative minds and decided Seth Rogen has the same artistic value as they do.
Gentlemen, you're not the main problem, point blank. No one can film anything original anymore. We have entered an era of global cultural decline in which it's more profitable not to invent a new one, but to mock and make fun of and squeeze all the juice out of the old. More than half of what Disney now produces is plastic, so this reboots and remake unnecessary and meaningless sequels, and even their original works are like a parody of what has already been filmed. Of the same plot as 20, 50, 70 years ago with the same heroes on the same hateful moral, be yourself, follow your dream. There is no creativity in these surrogates, no respect for the original material. They just brutally distort and vulgarize what were once good stories. All the sincerity of the original works is gradually degenerated into endless malicious banter, antics, postmodern throwing shit in all directions and attempts to convince the audience that this is not shit, But when you look at the industry, even the slogan of this movie, this is not a reboot. This is a comeback, seems to be trying to say no. We did not just take existing characters from the cartoon, wrote a primitive plot for them and piled a bunch of references and post-irony on top. We without the genre. Look how crazy we are. They don't even fucking try. As if trying to say no. We didn't just take existing characters from the cartoon, wrote a primitive plot for them and piled a bunch of references and posterity on top. We without the genre. Look how fucking we are. They don't even fucking try, as if trying to say no. We didn't just take existing characters from the cartoon, wrote a primitive plot for them and piled a bunch of references and posterity on top. We without the genre. Look how fucking we are. They don't even fucking try.
Yes, everyone understands everything perfectly. Can you do something with this? I think the only possible thing is not to eat references, not to sponsor such slack. Mid-irony should fuck up everyone sooner or later, just like everyone was once tired of sterile Disney cartoons and a wave of Ren and Stimpy type cartoons began. True, this may not happen soon. In the 2000s, no one thought that Marvel-style blockbusters would fully enter mainstream cinema niche. It was an experiment, but shit on them and go to them so far.
Can you do something about it? Pick up a brush and build your own empire. By my worse than any pinus like Walt Disney.
Perhaps, but in this particular case, why did this storytelling model even need the concept of it's all a show? The original was about a specific team of specific rescuers. There was no hint that it was all behind the scenes. Moreover, this concept was generally thought up about a year ago when they sat down to approve the script, instead of creating something from scratch. You take an already completed image, a completed look, break it down and start subvert expectations. And the fuck? What for what? Why was it necessary to smear everything around with this fucking postionic dirt? Why does the animated series about chipmunks have endless media references, jokes about real estate sales and other topical things that already surround us all? For me, this was a huge disappointment.
No way! Anon, no. Do you know why? Because they were never supposed to be actors. They are detectives. They were created as a team of detectives. That's why the whole plot is just one big holy flake like the mess joke. There was literally no reason to make them actors. They are actors. Then they can't have the skills that their characters have.
I've been enthusiastic about the idea that the film's lifeguards will be actors who played in a half-forgotten show 30 years ago. I really hoped that there would be something in the spirit of Pickerel. Too bad they couldn't make it work.
I just can't understand one thing. Why is having a fucking foundation in the form of a series about riskers? Did the writers decide to fucking cross everything out and make a cheap show with jokes and references to the Sonic and its hit? Well, you could naturally fucking revive the franchise, make the same idea that now everyone dispersed, because fuck no one needs Chipmunk's detectives, and then after Cheers, something forced the team to get together. What the hell was doing this for what? After all, the film is essentially a didn't.
Deconstructing itself. We fucking destroyed all story and characters to let the fans suck. How the fuck do you fuck? Subworth expectation? Fucking deconstruction. Just fucked up.
I'm explaining in a popular way. A person from marketing comes and lays out the calculation that the shit done by the crooked asses about the agenda always pays off if you stick a nostalgia to it. Therefore, Blaze will fuck mice, Palpatines will be resurrected. Corpses will be worn. With the help of the agenda, Hollywood producers managed to do what ours, led by the master, we're trying to do a dozen years ago on the Chinese at the moment. You create a natural assembly line from the industry where everything is done according to one pattern, and the consumer, after a whole generation of solid shit, will simply assume that everything is shit and will come to terms with the fact that it will not be better in principle and will eat what is.
I'm so fucked up from this era, where absolutely everything has to be laid out with layered running, where screenwriters will crawl out of their skin just to not make simple happy endings, where everyone believes that exceptionally high amounts of realism and cynicism make a picture good. Cartoons existed for escapism and for fun. Now this is another tool for true cinema. What is the point of openly writing fuck you? Fuck your mother on the audience's childhood memories?
And besides, Disney indefinitely renews its patents for all projects, so that even after 30 years, no one dares to say, I would like to make my cartoon using my vision of my childhood memories, soulless shit conveyor.
What is the point of openly writing fuck you, fuck your mother, the audience's childhood memories, that you are no longer their audience? You were such while you were a child and brought income to the company, happily consuming its products, and now you're a used here who is called every 6 months or a year to borrow money, and a fresher pussy comes to replace you. Time will pass, and they will do the same to her. Us, this is business, nothing personal.